And we are live with Jim Mirabelli, NEPA Pizza Review King of Northeastern Pennsylvania.
I eat a lot of pizza. I don't know that I'm the pizza king, but it's good to be on the show with you, Johnny. Thanks for
But,
having me.
buddy, I don't know, man. I mean, you've been making some big moves, I feel like, lately.
I don't know. I'm really not doing anything any different. I listen to people. I talk about pizza. I try to find the best pizza, and I just get the word out there. Not really making moves. It's just
Well, I mean,
fun.
I will get to this in a little bit, but you had a video that surpassed like a ton of views. So that's really cool, right? And you've been doing this for a long time. You could say longer than the one and only Dave Portnoy of the Barstool Sports fame, right? But I mean, I think what you're doing is great. I mean, I had the pleasure of meeting you. It wasn't last year, November. It was, I think, November of 2019. It was me, you, and the guys from You Want a Pizza Me. Also, some local pizza reviewers here in Northeastern Pennsylvania. They've been quiet lately. I don't know. I feel like they did that review. We were helping bring some awareness to, and you could speak to this better than I could, because it was kind of you who hooked us up. But um, it was some fundraiser.
Exactly. Yeah. So Januzzi's is where we were. They
Yeah.
agreed to. I think we were reviewing their buffalo chicken pizza, which was very good, by the way.
Yes.
And they agreed to donate a percentage of the sales of every buffalo chicken pizza that they made to the Freddie the Pizza Man Foundation for Autism, which was my charity, which continues to be my charity of choice. Great guy. He was actually just reviewed by Dave Portnoy this week out at his pizzeria. So really excited for him. I think that might be coming out tomorrow because he shoots, a week's worth, and I think Freddie's getting ready to be busy. So
That was this week.
uh, so they filmed it last week. He's on kind of a week delay. So I thought it was coming out tonight. It's coming out I think tomorrow night.
Okay. So for reference, for those listening, we are recording this. It is currently January 28th. This will probably be released early next week. So the week, like February 1st, February 2nd. So if you haven't seen what Jim is talking about, please by all means check that out. That's really cool. And he's local, right?
He's actually in Detroit, local in
Detroit.
Detroit.
Okay.
He's a one man show, and he created this foundation for autism, and he's doing great work with it. He equips classrooms for autistic students,
That's great.
and so really awesome. So he's a local guy, not NEPA local, but he's great guy, and a good friend of mine. So doing good work there.
How did you get hooked up with him?
So it's amazing the people you meet through this whole pizza venture. By the way, this is a hobby of mine. I want to make it clear to everyone. Some
Right.
people think this is
Right.
my job, this is my business. No, this is totally a hobby. I make pizza at home. I write about pizza. I film videos begrudgingly. Never wanted to be in a video. Um, and you meet all these people, you get all these messages, you see what people are doing out there, and there's some inspirational stuff on the internet. And I choose to focus on positive things that are out there. It's easy to get sort of lost in politics or negativity or trolling, but there's so much good stuff going on out there. And just networking through social media, I found Freddie, and found a lot of people that way. It's amazing who you can run into online.
Yeah, so let's go back. You started this whole venture, I think it was 9 years ago now.
Yeah, 2012. Started in 2012. I was just going back for my MBA in grad school, and one of the projects sort of alluded to a website or something. The project wasn't exactly go create a website, but I always wanted to have my own website, and I always had a passion for pizza and local pizza, and I sort of just combined all that, and I said, I'm going to be a blogger. And it just felt weird. It wasn't really the cool thing to do, particularly in Northeast PA. I stayed anonymous about it. I didn't tell my friends. I didn't tell, my parents. And I just was typing about, pizza, just writing articles, writing reviews, terribly written, bad photos with my flip phone. I one day, one of my buddies texted me and they said, "Hey, you got to check this guy out." And I said, "Well, this guy's me." And he said, "Oh, I didn't realize, So I'll never forget that day when I, came out of the pizza box, if you will. And
Okay.
then I figured, so after a little while, I realized that, people were interested in this. My background's going south here, I see.
Yeah, we got to clear that up. I love the local, nice pizza pictures in the background for those of you who are just listening to audio.
It's all about local for me at this point. So anyway, I started, say who I was. I was no longer a secret shopper, and I just kept writing. But my friends kept telling me, you got to do videos, and I don't have a face for video, right? Like you're a radio guy, but you got to look to you, Johnny. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't have that look. I'm a face for radio guy, So I said, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be in front of the camera, but so I tried a couple, and it didn't feature me on camera. It was sort of a voiceover thing, and those really started to take off. And a lot more popular, that people don't want to read a full article anymore, even though that's what I take the most pride in doing, right? I enjoy writing and expressing myself in that way. And pizza happens to be the topic that I enjoy writing about. But anyway, to reach people and have a bigger impact, I pivot to doing videos and articles now. And then, my buddies kept telling me, like, why don't you just get out there? And by this time, Portnoy was doing his thing out in front of businesses, and I said, I don't want to like, he has a whole routine and a following, and like, that's not me. I don't have a comedy bit. I don't have, like, I just want to show pizza, and I want to represent Northeast PA because we have something special here. So I sort of started doing it my way, which was in the car or actually inside the restaurant, and then voice over my opinion later, that type of thing. And I just wanted to be me. I wanted to do my own style if I was going to be, on video. But my only rule is one cut, not one bite. Everybody knows the rule. One cut. I point the camera at my face. I don't have a cameraman or anything, and I just do it one time. That's why I'm loving this podcast. We're doing one cut, for better or worse, right?
Yep.
And I saw you don't edit, no post edits,
I
right?
don't, not
So
at all.
we'll do it live. And so that's sort of my style. What you see is what you get. I take a lot of pride in being honest, but I also say, I won't say a bad thing about a local pizzeria, right? I'll be honest, but I don't think I need to be impacting people's livelihoods negatively, particularly at this point in time, right? And there's also a chance that maybe I don't understand the pizza. Maybe I got a bad pizza. Everybody has a bad day. They don't need me out there trashing their livelihood.
Sure.
And also, I get so many messages from people. Like, I have a circle of like 100 people that are reliable, that tell me where to go get pizza. I know it's going to be good before I get there, right? So the criticism a lot of times is, you never say a bad thing. Well, first, I'm a positive person by nature, and second, these people, a lot of them are out there struggling, and they're putting their heart and soul into the product. They don't need me out there trashing it, and that's just my view, and I won't change it.
It'd be one thing if you were just Joe Schmo on the street, like, oh, this pizza sucks, and no one even like really took your word for it, right? But I mean, again, you've made yourself a pretty, big name, I think, here as a guy who reviews pizza, stops at the best places, and you're like you said, you're a positive influence for these local businesses. And I think your friends telling you that you have to do videos, as much as you think that you didn't want to be on camera, you don't want to do this and that. I think videos are very important, and that's because, especially for pizza, right? I mean, you want to be able to see it. You want to see the thickness of the crust. You want to see the melted cheese. You want to see all that. And as much as the written word kind of gets the point across, nothing does better than a visual, for a great pizza, especially.
You're so right. My first boss in the pizzeria that I worked in, the place used to be called Donio's in Clark Summit, if anyone's familiar with that. But my first boss always told me people eat with their eyes, right? And that all has stuck with me. And what he meant was, don't just put it together. You have to make it taste good, but also visually it looks good. And then, I've talked to people all around the industry. I talked to some marketing folks, and they say photos on the menu are very impactful because people want to be shown what it is. That's why, they bring the dessert card out. They don't ask
Right.
you if you want tiramisu. They show you the tiramisu.
Absolutely.
So that's important, and that's a point well taken. Like, now I sort of embrace the videos. I don't like any of them that I'm in, but I understand that's the medium that people seek, right? They don't
Yeah.
want to see me; they want to see the pizza first of all. But I also think they want to hear somebody's opinion, and I've given enough. I've done hundreds and hundreds of reviews. They know my tendencies, and people who've read or watched enough know what I like and know what I don't, and whether they agree or disagree, they kind of know where I stand, right? The same way people can kind of like people with El Presidente will say, I could tell by the look on his eye, I know if he was going to give it an 8,
Yeah.
so, and it's kind of neat to have a following. And to be honest, I love having a lot of, followers who I can engage with. Just a number to me, I could care less if people know who I am, really. And but I do care that people know about Northeast PA, that we have something special here, that we have multiple unique pizzas, right? So you see an Old Forge over here, but we have pan-fried Sicilian pizza too, which is our own. And we have some other variations that are just unique to us, right? Pan-fried Sicilian pizza. I mean, we talk about Old Forge because we have the pizza capital of the world thing, but pan-fried Sicilian, there's only 50 places to my knowledge in the world that make it. And
Really.
50 of them are in Pennsylvania and
Really.
49 of them are here.
Wow. I did not know that.
Yeah, so that's my research. A lot of anecdotes, a lot of polling people, a lot of asking, a lot of looking all over social media. But to me, those are the facts that I bring to the table here. I publish an article on my website, nepapizzareview.com. Of the list of 50, I think we just added one. We had a pizzeria experimenting with it. I think it was Pasquale's down in Luzerne County. And so we're up to 51 places with it, and it's getting more popular.
So it sounds like you've done some research. What do you think it is about Northeastern Pennsylvania that makes the pizza so good? Because I mean, that's a constant theme, right? You can't get a good pizza. People move away to even Chicago or Colorado or whatever, they move across the country, and they're like, we miss the pizza from home. Like, what is it about this area that you know just causes such an uproar about pizza?
Mm-hmm. So, I think a lot of it has to do with now. There's great areas for pizza. I was in New Haven, Connecticut, amazing pizza up there. New York, of course, amazing pizza. That's my style, the thin, crispy. But here, not only do we have quality and just such a diverse offering of pizza, which I don't know can be matched anywhere. When you take Lackawanna and Luzerne County and the different types that we have here, and the different types that we're adding, like Detroit style pizza coming into the market here. Uh, we just have so much. But really what I think it comes down to, and I've talked to a ton of people and I've written some articles about it, and it's what you grow up with. And pizza is so deeply personal, right? It's people, they grow up with it, they identify with it. It's like a sports team, right? So
Sure.
if I tell you, Johnny, what's your favorite pizza?
Oh, you want me to answer this for real?
Sure, one of your favorites.
I mean,
Yeah,
Pizza Perfect is one of my favorites. I mean, but
awesome place,
like you said, I kind of grew up with that, so I see what you're saying.
right? Yeah, so you identify with it, right? And it didn't take you long to come up with that, right? And so if you're in an elevator, sometimes people talk about the weather. Well, I talk about pizza, and it's just as easy to talk about, but it's deeply personal. You carry it with you, and so many people are just looking for an outlet to talk about their favorite pizza. And I think that has driven a lot of the success in my growth, because people just want to express opinions and hear opinions and find new places. But really, I think it's that what we have here is so unique. And I'm referring specifically to, Old Forge, Pan Fried Sicilian, but I'm also referring to Maroni's, Andy's, Angelo's. I'm going to miss a bunch of historic ones. People talk about Alfredo's in Scranton. There's a ton of them down in Hazleton. We're talking about the Scamutz cheese on the Tavern Pitts, Pitz, at Synapse. We're talking about the cold cut pizza at Carmen's, and like, we just have it all, right? And people, one way or another, identify with one or two or three of those things, or all of them, like me, and they take a lot of pride in it, and then they move away. And a lot of places, particularly the South and the Midwest, have chain pizza, and well, that's not special. There's no character in a Domino's crust or a Papa John's, although I do like dipping a crust into the garlic sauce.
Yes.
But there's nothing special or remarkable about it or different. I didn't grow up with that.
Right.
I did grow up with I have my book it pinned somewhere over here, but I did
Pizza
grow up
Hut.
with Pizza Hut.
Pizza Hut, yes.
Yeah. So I identify with Pizza Hut,
Sure.
right? So
book it. Yeah, I remember going and getting like a Ninja Turtle, like it's like, it was a huge button almost. Like I remember a lot of that stuff.
it was amazing experience. They had a great thing there, and they also gave away great toys, as I recall, too.
Yeah.
So that was cool. That was a cool place to spend your Friday night, or wherever it was.
And you gotta be careful too. You're listing off all these places, so you're like, oh, this place is great. This place is great. There's people who are like, no, that place sucks. This is the place you got to go to. Like, people are like loyal to a fault almost, because they're like, I can't try anything else. This is my pizza place. This is the kind I like. I won't go anywhere else.
Yeah. So such a pervasive mentality. However, though, I think part of what I've been able to accomplish here, and I'm very proud of it, is I almost have a following, a Pizza Friday following of people who look Thursday nights where to go. And a lot of people tell me they're using my website as a resource, but it's not a mistake that every Thursday night I post my review video, because I found that people are looking Thursday to plan for Friday where they want to go.
Absolutely.
And what happens then is, sometimes it has an impact, 5 or 10 people, go buy a pizza, but sometimes you have a profound impact, and it's just like, it's heartwarming. I can't even tell you, some of the feedback I've got from owners that, may have been struggling, and, let me know that they really needed that shot in the arm, or, I'm not changing someone's business model. I'm not making them successful forever, but like, one good weekend, 3 good weeks, it could make a big difference between closing the doors and not. And I don't have a Barstool fund to do this, but if I could be a pizza influencer, which I never set out to be, and use it for that good, man, like, I'll keep doing this forever, or as long as, the pizza gods allow. Right?
Absolutely. No, and all you need is that awareness, really, for one. And then once you get past that, word of mouth is a phenomenal tool. And that's the kind of the igniter for the whole thing. I just saw you did Cheers.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was a huge response. And by a complete accident, I was talking to somebody. His name's Brian. He lives, I think, in the West Pittston area. And I don't even know how you got brought up. It wasn't like I mentioned your name or even the pizza review page. He just said, oh, I saw this review about Cheers online. I lived there a block away from there my entire life. I never knew it was there. So, I mean, obviously, and you're definitely bringing awareness to not only people that may need it, but just, people who people like me, who I mean, I didn't know that was there.
I had no idea. But you know who started by, the You Want a Pizza Me guys, even though they're not active, they're some very trustworthy pizza advisors to me. And they pointed this one out, and I said, it must be a new place. It's got to be a new place. And I got there, and I walk out front to the awning that is out there, And, I hold the cell phone up, like doing a selfie style, which is just still embarrassing to me. And then so, I do my intro and I start walking and I say, I wanted to like kind of show people where you entered. So I turn the camera and I look up and there's a banner that says 35 years in business. Just crazy. Let me just close this here. And I said, well, how could I not know about this? And I go in, and the guy was awesome, like really cool guy. And then so he's telling me about the place and how it all how it's going and how it's a bar pie, very thin. It's unique because it's a 16-inch large bar pie. And those bar pie is really supposed to be a small thing that
Right.
you'd enjoy by yourself. Very flavorful, salty, that would be crunchy and light, so you keep drinking more, right?
Sure.
So he's doing something different, and it tastes different, and it looks different, and it feels different. And I got in the car and I opened it, and I was like, "This is going to be one of those." I just knew it was going to take off because it was different, and I didn't have anything to compare it to. My first thing, I sort of checked my pizza encyclopedia as to. For some reason, I remember every pizza I've ever eaten or at least reviewed, and I couldn't draw a comparison immediately. And I said, "This thing is special, and this is going to go somewhere." And that was the second most views I ever got on a video. So, I saw a couple days in a row that they had sold out after that video posted. So that was pretty cool. Really happy about that.
Yeah. So you mentioned that was your second highest viewed video. Let's talk about your first. And I believe, and if I'm wrong, I apologize. Those doing my research, aka me, have failed me. Um, Demurros, or
Hmm.
Demurros rather,
Hmm.
Demurros,
Yeah.
in Pittston, Pennsylvania. Now I currently live in Duryea, so and I lived in Duryea for a little over 4 years now. Up until I moved here, I never knew what Demurros was. But my wife grew up in Pittston. She was, you know, big on Demurros, and I guess they're really well known for their white pizza. Correct?
Yes.
And that video, and I'm assuming it's north of this number, but 280,000.
Yeah. Right around there. Uh, I've never had, so I don't know what a viral video even means, if it's a million or 1,000 or what. So for me, this video went viral because
Sure.
it exceeded all metrics. It made over 1 million. It went into 1 million people's Facebook feeds,
Okay.
which was like astonishing, right? So,
Yeah.
and my first thought is like, awesome, because like how much money Facebook would have charged Demurros to get 1 million people to see their pizza. Um, I can't even, I don't even know what that number would be. And again, I'm not in a business, but I think about the business and the
Right.
opportunities, right? And I said, wow, good for them, because it's different, it's unique, and like their pizza's just out there. I got messages from people in Canada, California. I didn't really see anything Europe, but I got a lot of messages, and I might as well say many of them were the the stoolies, and they don't receive other pizza review guys very well. Well, let's just say that, right?
Right.
And I take it. Some were really assessing my health in a negative way and making some judgments. And
Really?
yeah, some very, very nasty things. And
Based
you
on
know
what?
what's that?
Ba-
My stature, I guess, or I guess I'm larger than Mr. Portnoy. Which, by the way, I've got several Barstool shirts and pizza shirts in my dresser. And like you can see them in my videos. I don't follow extremely closely, but like the Barstool Fund is an awesome thing that's going on, but I just don't see myself. People think that those folks seem to think that I'm trying to compete with Barstool.
right.
Not possible. Not possible. I have no interest in having a global audience or even a national audience, which I did there. Uh, I only have an interest in telling the story of Northeast PA and the special stuff that we have here. But so it was neat. I learned a lot of things. I learned that I need to put the address and the state in my description because I'm getting it to a wider audience. I usually just say Pittston because I assume if you're
Right.
from Scranton, you know where Pittston is, right?
Right.
So, but
But yeah,
you
you're
gotta
you're
think
getting
big.
guys from Canada reaching out to you.
Yeah, but you know, they
Hey.
also know how to use choice language as well.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you know what though? All that was to me, and I hit it because I hit a lot of the comments only because like it distracted from the story that I was trying to tell, right? It's not about me, it's about the pizza, it's about this one happened to be Demurros, and you know what, good for them that they got on such a big stage. And I didn't need those comments to distract from the great thing that was going on there, and
Sure.
because there were very many awesome comments too. But you know what? Those negative ones, they just need a hug. You know what I mean? They just need a hug, and they need some positivity. So we'll give it to them with the next video. I'll do better. We'll go with
Sure.
that.
So, I mean, do you hear back from these owners as far as like, hey, like, you were here, my business increased 10% or I mean, do they do that for you?
They do. You know, some I never talk to, never hear. Like if it's a busy night, I'm just a regular customer. You know, I have owners that request me to come. My list is about 125, 130 pizzerias long that I have to get to that I haven't gotten to yet.
Like that many
So
more?
yeah, that many more
Wow,
requests. Yeah.
that's great.
Um, so you know, and I wish I could help them all, but you know, the body can only. I don't know how. You know, we keep talking about. I keep mentioning Portnoy here. I don't know how he is doing. You know, 6 pizzas in a week. I'm trying to get down to just one.
Well,
And
let's be fair. I mean, there's a couple things there, right? It's one bite, maybe two. Everyone knows the rules, so
Mhm.
he's not eating full slices. And honestly, I mean, you look fantastic for as much pizza as you eat. I mean, let's be fair. So those guys, those haters, talking trash about your health or whatever, get out of here. But and I mean, Portnoy's probably got a physical trainer and all that kind of stuff. He does okay. He's very successful. I'm a big fan of Dave Portnoy. Some of my friends are not. I will admit that I am a big fan. I think what he does is pretty great, and that's why I'm happy that there's someone like you for our area doing something very similar on a big scale. I mean, because it is, and on a national scale. Okay, maybe you're not Dave Portnoy, but I think at the NEPA level, what you're doing and for doing for the local businesses is a great thing. So
well, you know, I sort of look at it in a way that you know what you're doing for the local music scene, right? So, in a lot of ways, I mean, I know we have NEPA scene and we have some other you know similar projects that sort of work together. But I mean, you're dedicated, and you know, I'm grateful to be on the channel to talk here. But you're dedicated to promoting those folks, and that fundraiser you're doing is awesome with the shirts.
thank you.
You know, so in a lot of ways, I see a lot of similarities because you know you have a voice at the microphone or the pizza counter, but you know what does that mean if nobody's coming in the door or coming to or the bar is closed that you usually play on a Thursday night, right?
Right.
Who's got that voice and how you know who's got that unified voice to bring it together? And you know you're doing a great job with that. So
Thank you. I mean, I think we need champions of certain sectors of and that's one thing I like about NEPAs because not that I'm a big fish by any means because I don't think that of myself at all, but like you can be a big fish in a small pond. And
mhm.
when I say that, I mean people listening or watching. I don't want people to think that I think I'm bigger than I am because I'm very like you said. I mean I don't. I like doing this only because I can see you and I can talk to you, right? Like if I had my way, there would be no COVID. I would have a studio somewhere, and you and I would be sitting across the desk from each other, having a conversation like humans.
Mhm.
But here we are, we're doing this, and it is what it is. So please, anyone listening or watching, I don't think I'm anything bigger than I am. I'm just I'm a nobody really. I'm just trying to do the good thing, right?
Yeah, and Johnny, I think what you are is genuine. And I watched your interview with Clyde, and he also used that word as I was thinking it as well. So I think that's why people gravitate to you. Actually, I know that's why people gravitate toward you. They know that what they're getting is legit, it's real, and you're very sincere. So it comes across. So I don't think I appreciate the explanation for the people, but I think they know. I think they can feel, and it's cool to be able to become the voice of something. Although
Yeah.
I often say we need more pizza bloggers here in Northeast PA. Help me tell the story. I'll help promote your stuff. Like I don't have any rivals.
Yeah, and I think is things are competitive to an extent, right? I think as we advance and technology is what it is, there's more people can do the things we're doing. So like, back in I mean, I grew up watching Michael Jordan. So like for me, I wanted to be the best. So like you grow up with that competitive edge and you want to be the best. And there's nothing wrong with that, but you know, like there's a bunch of podcasters that are popping up now. I mean, Bill Corcoran Jr. is one. He's celebrating his 1 year anniversary within the next month or so. He does a great job. He's got a nice little studio in Corcoran Printing. The sound quality from him is great. He's interviewing guests who are talking about addiction or just doing positive things in the area. He's doing a great job. And there's a company called Conversion Works. They started a podcast called Getting to Know the 570. And again, it's similar, just interviewing people in the 570. So, but it's great. It's everyone kind of having the same goal and just highlighting the strengths of this area. And I think what makes that important and why it's great is because this area will continue to be I know that there's an armpit of New Jersey, but like this area will continue to be that stale coal town, like people with no teeth and yada yada yada. The list goes on, unless there's people like us highlighting the greatness that this area also has.
You're so right. I remember when I was in high school. I think we're probably similar in age. I'm probably a little older, but I was in high school, and a lot of the sentiment from folks that I went to school with was, "You got to get out here to succeed." And I just never felt that way. I looked around and said, "This is awesome. That's history and culture, and like the fact that you can go from Dunmore to Scranton, and they're like two different countries. They have like a street in between them, but
Yep.
the mentalities and the background and the culture, it's so cool. Like I flew to Mexico on spring break. I felt more, I, I didn't cross any borders, I would like, it was the same people there. But when you go to Luzerne County, it's totally different and in a good way, right? There's just so many different things that makes us quirky and unique and special. And those things, I think it's important for, podcasters, bloggers, radio personalities, not the visitors bureau. It's for us to tell that story because we have a certain street credit, and I think we're pretty responsible with it.
Right.
And it is more powerful coming from just the average person. I'm just a one take guy. My screen went black behind me, and that's okay, right? It's about the substance, it's about what we have, and really, like, you can look at, oh geez, we don't have a Chick-fil-A yet, and all the corruption and all, you can look at those things, but you're never going to get anywhere, and you're not going to appreciate what we have if you don't look around and smell the roses. And I know it's not all positive all the time, and the world's not.
No.
But Northeast PA is an awesome place, and people should be proud to be from here. And I happen to be proud of the pizza scene. I know you appreciate the pizza scene, but like, man, the local artists here, like, I'm a little bit out of, when the wife and the kids took me out of the, the local scene a little bit, I can still remember, Destination West was one of my bands that we liked, and
Yep.
who's Ken Norton's band there?
Grace's Downfall.
Grace's Downfall was my favorite. Used to chase Breaking Benjamin around before they
Yeah,
went
man.
big. So really just like so much cool stuff. Like we have a multi-platinum artist that came from Wilkes-barre, right? Like that's
Yep.
awesome. So
I mean, we have bands that were like, I mean, you have Fuel. It's not NEPA, but it's close. Motionless in White. That's a little of a bit of a hard metal type of band, but they do very very well. Title Fight, the Menzingers, they're more punk. Not the level of Breaking Benjamin, but I mean they're still doing very well. I mean, and the Badleys from the '90s, great band, and there's a lot of talent that comes out of here, and there's more talent now. Oh, I should say now. There's when I started that radio show like 3 years ago, I thought I had my finger on the pulse of like what was good and what was going on, and like I started that show and I got flooded with like these band submissions, and I'm listening to them like these guys are from Nanacoke. It was like send request to be specific. I'm like, holy shit! Like this is crazy. This is so good. How are they not signed? Like how are they not going further? It's amazing. It really is.
I'll bring up your interview with Clyde there, the name of his band escapes me, but I listened
Sleep
to
lore.
his single, huh?
Sleep lore.
Sleep Lore, and his new single. You guys were talking about it, and using some terms and some comparisons. I'm not so musically inclined, but I said, so let me go listen to this, and I was like, I'm not the judge of quality music, but man, it was like
It's
it
great.
felt familiar. It felt like it was something I should be hearing on the radio. It was real. That was cool. And I don't usually connect with songs right away. Even, when the new Breaking Ben CD would come out, I was like,
Yeah.
I connected with that song, and that was really cool. So I gotta seek out Clyde, and I'll send him a message on Facebook, tell him I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, Clyde, if you're listening, Jim here messaged me saying, I know Clyde plays guitar, but is that him singing too? I'm like, yeah, man, that's everything. He does everything on that. And and like you, I mean, I've known Clyde as like just a musician. Like he just got a production studio in Clark Summit. But I mean, I grew up seeing him on stages just playing guitar, like like you were saying. So to hear him do that, I'm really proud of him. And uh such a great song. It's called Let Go. If you're listening to this and you want to check it out, it's streaming on all the streaming services. But he just released a new song called Waited. Different than Let Go, but I said to him, I think this song called Waited belongs in a Zach Braff movie. And we joked back and forth about Garden State would be a perfect movie for that song to be in. But yeah, I mean, Clyde's a great dude. Another positive impact on our community. And we're lucky to have people like that.
It was cool. I met him. Like I said, I was a dishwasher, and so was he. And I think we were both kind of accounting and finance guys in school and stuff. So it's kind of neat to have that experience. He went on to be a cook, and I went on to be the pizza guy, and now he's doing that. And it's kind of neat. Like who would have thought that 15 or 20 years later you'd see me doing pizza and him creating his own single. That was like
Yeah. I think
that
he's
was
actually, I think he's in finance too. I don't, I mean, he does the music secondary. But I think he's in some kind of, I should know this. I don't know why I don't, but yeah, he does some kind, I think finance for something as a full-time gig.
Mhm.
But
I understand he's very good at it. His reputation precedes him. So,
yeah,
but that was neat, and that was really cool to see that. But I think that's just, I wouldn't, no, I know Clyde, but I wouldn't have connected any dots and found that song today had it not been for watching your podcast. So,
yeah, Clyde, you hear that?
so that was pretty cool, right? So like, music influencer right there. And
Yeah.
that was neat. Hopefully you got a little fraction of something for my click on that thing. But
He probably got 0.00000001 cent.
more than zero, I guess, right? But hey, well, let's push that, and let's do like the guys are doing with GameStop, and let's push it high and let's get the plays going for Clyde.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not familiar with stocks. Like I'm like an idiot. I'm an idiot for most things. Stock. I mean, are you familiar with stocks?
Yes.
So I mean, are you in finance? You said, or some
Yeah.
form of
Well, I
that?
have a finance background. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, my head exploded today. Um, but from what I mean, I watched Dave Portnoy's video about an hour before we jumped on this, and like I loved his take on it, and he's basically saying like, it's fine and fair for these hedge funds, but now that they're kind of getting screwed, now we have to like change the rules. Um, I just think it's wild. I mean, I don't know enough about it, and my
Mhm.
brain is not able to comprehend it. But I think we're gonna see a lot of I don't want to say changes, but like maybe some changes. I don't know.
Well, I know this isn't a finance podcast, but
No, no, no. But I mean, like my
oh,
goal of
yeah,
having this podcast is like, let's talk about what you're doing.
yeah.
Great, awesome.
Well, first of all, two things I'd recommend you watch. One is Billions. It's a Showtime.
With the Rock,
Uh, what's that?
with the Rock.
No, this one's with geez, the two stars are kind of slipping my mind at the moment. But it's about a high powered like district attorney type person and a billionaire hedge fund type person, and how the hedge fund sort of operates to make sure that his profits exceed everything. Really cool premise, and even if you're not into finance, like it gives you a perspective into how hedge funds operate and why they have the privilege they have. And of course, it's got a Hollywood twist on it, but
Sure.
it's a neat one. And then another one is The Big Short, which is not exactly stocks, but that one is about the housing crisis and the mortgage crisis and how that works. So I don't know if you saw either of those.
I did see that. I don't think I was in the right mind frame to, and when I say mind frame, I just wasn't like ready for that kind of movie. So when I watched it, it just went over my head.
Mhm.
Um,
But yeah, it's very relevant to the discussion, and it's it's interesting because we do when you boil down all the politics, and I don't want to get into politics, but you boil everything going on in the country, it kind of comes down to little guy versus big guy, doesn't it?
yeah, yeah,
And that was so much evidence today that's kind of going on. And I have a Robinhood account. I didn't participate, but I got the email. Oh, well, no, that wasn't what was happening. We just paused it, for volatility. So
right,
it was
right.
interesting. I wasn't there. I don't have any interest, or I don't have, I don't have any firsthand experience with it, but it certainly doesn't look good on the surface as to what's going on there.
Yeah, it's weird. The whole world is weird. I mean, on top of a pandemic and politics, the new president, and just people going crazy, and now the stock market is where it's at. I mean, like, what's next? What's next?
It's one thing. Well, I hope we'll always have pizza to comfort us.
We will
Come
always
come
have
back
pizza.
around. And well, we have music like you said, but there's a lot of good though. We have a lot of good stuff going on. It's interesting, and we'll, we'll roll with the punches.
Yeah.
Interesting times.
And you said you're married and have a kid or kids.
Two, I have the Pizza Princess, which she's 13 now, so I'm not supposed to call her the Pizza Princess anymore, but I still do. Branding, gotta have branding, right?
Of course.
On the channel. Actually, she has more requests sometimes than I do to come down. They want her to be on the video, and so she has her own little fan club. And the
Good.
Pizza Prince is two, so he's very busy. He started his first pizza review video to pretty good critical acclaim, I would say. He definitely got better feedback than I did, so which is good and a lot of fun.
So yeah, you're busy, and I know we were setting this up, and we're like, I've got a 3-year-old, so I'm busy, and you've got a full-time job, and you're doing the pizza stuff on the side, and kids, and life's crazy, man.
It is, but I wouldn't want it any other way. I really wouldn't,
You find
because
time.
yeah, if I didn't have this, I'd be doing something else. Also, like always got to be busy. I like to create things, and to me, I'm creating something, and I don't know what the end result is. And if it goes nowhere other than connecting people in pizza and telling Northeast PA story, I'm totally whole and I'm totally satisfied with it. And that's really all I'm looking for here, is to tell our story.
Yeah. So I mean, you don't financially gain from all these reviews and the time that you spend. Is that correct?
That's correct. I sold I sold some shirts last year. I'm going to try that again in a different way. Most of the time, though, I sell the shirts for a charitable cause, right?
Right.
So I sold ugly Christmas sweaters and
Which
things
were
like
great.
that. But so those are that was fun. We sold quite a bit. Again, raised money for Freddy the Pizza Man's Foundation there, and it's a lot of fun. But certainly, I mean, it doesn't even begin to cover the cost of gas, web hosting,
Right. But what I'm kind of getting at is like you have a product, you have viewers, you have all these things that like advertisers and sponsors would want. Why do you choose not to kind of dabble in that space?
So I took on sponsors in my I have a annual NEPA Pizza Madness tournament that I do. 64 pizzerias. It's kind of a voting challenge where there's weekly face-offs, and it takes I believe 6 weeks to name a winner. But the software itself is quite expensive. So I'll take on a sponsor for that, so that they have 6 weeks of really intense eyeballs on it. And I only ask for the cost of the software and the sponsorship. But other than that, like it's so it's such a free feeling not to have any strings attached, not to have to pitch something for someone, or you know, it's just I'm unencumbered here, right?
Right.
I have no boss other than the 12,000 followers or whatever on Facebook, and I I do it. If I don't feel like doing it, I won't. But I always do feel like doing it. Um, it's just it's a great feeling. I'm just I'm not much of an artist, but this is my art, right? And
Yeah.
this is my happy place, eating pizza and telling the world about it. And sponsors, I mean, maybe one day I would think about it, but like I get pitched so many ideas. Like right before I go to bed every night, I'll check my email, and there'll be you know check out this pizza cutter or whatever. I already know what the best pizza cutter is, so nobody's going to send me something that's $3, and I'm going to take the what am I have to
Right.
look at, what do my viewers care about? They don't care about the $3. They've already seen me do a how-to video and cut the pizza with the pizza cutter I really use.
Right.
They're not interested. It has no value. So everything I do has to fulfill me, and it has to have value to my readers. And I'd rather just not do it. If like I'm just thinking of getting a half-hearted sponsor that just doesn't align with my values. And
Sure. No, and I wanted to bring that up because I think it also, gives you, you're unbiased. Like there's no one, kind of with their hand up your butt telling you what to talk about. Jim is here. What he says is his opinion, and if you like it, great. If not, that's okay too. And he's out there doing this, and there's no financial gain whatsoever. He's just doing it because he loves it. He's proud of it. He loves this area, and he's one of those guys in NEPA that we should obviously support, and because he's doing great things for the local businesses, and providing great content to people who are looking for the next pizza on Friday nights.
yeah, I appreciate that. But there's a lot of people like us that they're championing their own causes, and pizza happens to be mine. Music happens to be yours. But people are out there talking about animal shelters and the homeless, and
Absolutely.
so I love it. It's great.
And that's why I wanted to create this platform. Like you said, like my core I think is music, and I think 80% of that's going to stay that way. But I definitely wanted to diversify and talk to people like you, because I think your following is much greater than mine. So I mean, if I can contribute to that, that's great for me, and I would love to introduce you to more people. But I definitely I just want to create a platform where I can talk to anybody and plug anybody and create a space where people who are doing great things can talk about it. Because again, going back to what I said before, like we are here, we're the people leading the charge, I think, in this area, and telling people why it's a great place to be, as opposed to the older generation, or even young. I'm not gonna pigeonhole it and call out older people, but it's a constant stigma that, like I said before, NEPA, it's this backwards and yada yada yada. So I want definitely want to break through that noise.
It's just so great here, right? So I call no. First of all, I don't allow myself to say NEPA, but the only time I say that, and I hate it, but I need to. I call my fans the NEPA Nation. So I'll call on them to come follow you because we just have a similar message, right? And it's
Right.
just one's food, one's music. But so I'll definitely call on them to come check your stuff out because you do like just
Thank you.
authentic, great content here. So so we'll do that. But once this COVID and stuff gets over, we got to get out, do another pizza review.
Yeah.
I think that'll be a lot of fun. We'll see if we can dust off the You Want a Pizza with Me guys out of retirement. That'd be
Yeah.
cool.
Do you know what happened to them?
Busy.
Yeah.
Just busy.
And then Nick's
'Cause
got like 2 kids now. I don't know what Joe's up to. I know he's got
those-
kids as well, but
They are good at it though. They
they're
are.
funny.
I saw their first video come out and I was like, these guys are so, I shared it immediately. I was like, wow, like that was really engaging to watch them.
Yeah.
Because they have the folding table out there in the parking lot. It's freezing
And the
cold.
traffic, they're like on
Yeah.
the street and the traffic's flying by. You can sometimes barely hear what they're saying, and they don't
Oh,
care.
awesome. Awesome. And then the time they put like I think they did Angelo's and Jerry's side by side,
Yeah.
to see who won or whatever. It was pretty cool. So I hope they return to the circuit because
They got
they had
fancy. They started bringing wine to the table.
the Reuniti, right?
Yep.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, they were great.
One thing I wanted to say to you, you introduced me to, and I think maybe I had it before, but you kind of brought it to the forefront for me. Uh, Cupping pepperoni.
Yes.
Like I, I feel like I've had it before, and I didn't know what I was having, but like I knew that I liked it. I don't know where it was, um, but explain to people what that is because I think it's phenomenal.
Okay, so cupping pepperoni, or as we call it, cup and char pepperoni, because
Cup
it
and char.
curls up and the edge sort of chars, and so you get this like greasy, a little bit of grease because it catches in the cup. But what it is it's a different type of pepperoni that when it heats up, it just curls on the edge. And I think you feel like you had it before because that's what most pepperoni used to be back in the day until they engineered it to lay flat and look like there was more there.
That was engineered.
I believe so, right? So you can always get
Wow.
pepperoni like that. But if you remember when we were going to get Book It at Pizza Hut, you could probably envision though
Maybe that's what it
there was
was.
little puddles of grease in the
That's
pepperoni.
what it was. Thank you, Jim. Yes, you are absolutely right. That's what I remember. Thank
Yeah.
you.
So and it's not I don't want to be right, but I just want to say like this is where we've gone over 20, 30 years. We've gone away from it and now it's a delicacy. It's hard to find up here. We're the suppliers in Northeast PA. We don't have a lot of good supply chain because there's not a lot of consumer demand. But I'm trying to change that, right? You notice like once a week I'm making a pizza with the cup and char pepperoni, and people are like, "Where do you get it? Where do you get it?" Well, there's 2 places now you can get it in the supermarket. Hormel makes one. They call it Cup and Crisp. That I know is at Weiss, and I know is at Price Chopper. So you can get it there.
Writing this
And
down.
I also know that it is very, very tasty. And the other place, Wegmans, has a spicy cup pepperoni, they call it. That is extremely tasty. I've used that quite a bit. The one I use is kind of restaurant grade, kind of hard to get your hands on. So not sure it's worthy of mentioning here, but you know, you have to really source it in a, you can't just walk in somewhere and buy it.
Right. So before I let you go, you just talked about you actually cook pizza at home, and I think you do videos of that as well. So you're not only a guy who goes around Northeastern Pennsylvania and does, pizza reviews of other people's pizza, you cook pizza at home as well.
Yeah, and for me, again, I guess I have, my wife's a teacher, and I always say, boy, I can never do your job, right? Because she's just so gifted at what she does. But I guess, either she's rubbing off on me, or I do have a desire to teach, because I was approached by a local college before the pandemic started to teach a 2-day pizza class. And of course, I just said yes immediately. Then I was like, oh man, I really have to give people value here.
Yeah.
So I was like planning, and I had recipes and rewriting recipes, and because I didn't want to just use somebody else's recipe. And but pizza is like maybe 40% the recipe, 50% process, and then 10% is about the love. Like that's just important, right? So anyway, that ended up getting canceled, and it left sort of an empty place in me where I said, let me try this, And I started off doing it was like a 1-hour Facebook Live, how to make pan-fried Sicilian pizza. And that was well received. And I got a lot of comments that, oh, you need to do white pizza. You need to do this and that. And I was like, oh, geez, like, but so I have to strike a balance because I can't give away the pizzeria owner's trade secrets. So I'm always very careful to make my own. I make them like entry level type pizzas, right? So give you enough to go experiment and figure it out on your own, while giving you some tricks of the trade, but also not saying here's how insert very popular historical pizzeria here does it, because that's just, I love the mystique about these, about a Victory Pig or about a Andy's Pizza. Like, awesome. Like,
Sure.
like I wouldn't want to know. Like, do you want to see a magician's trick again after you see it?
No.
I don't. You know what I mean? Like, you already know the secret. So what's the point?
I got you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Jim, thanks for spending some time with me today. I love what you're doing. It was a pleasure meeting you for, I think we hung out for like a half hour, but we didn't really talk. So I'm glad that we got a chance to do this, and kind of put a more of a person behind your online, persona. So thank you. Thank you for what you do. I'm looking forward to the next 100. You have a list of 100 places you got to go. So where can people find you online?
You can find me, all the social media is at NEPA Pizza Review. That's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. My website, nepapizzareview.com.
Cool. And we're calling on the I prefer to say NEPA. You said NEPA before. the NEPA natives, is that what you said? Or NEPA Nation? NEPA Nation. We'll call on NEPA Nation to keep our trajectory moving forward. So
yeah, get this guy some subscribers. I could use them too, but the more subscribers we have, the more we can tell Northeast PA's story. So
absolutely,
the 570 is the place to be. I'm convinced of that. And let's keep it local. Let's support the small businesses and the little guys. And let's do it together.
Yeah, they need it now more than ever before, and I'm really happy to see the local guys continuing to push through. And I hate the word, but I'll use it here because it makes sense. But pivot in what has been a crazy time in the past year, and it just proud of you guys for continuing moving forward. And I'm sure a lot of that has to do with Jim and what he does. So Jim, thank you again, and hopefully COVID will be over soon, and you and I can go out. We'll have a pizza. Maybe we'll do like a live podcast when we can get out of the house and on site.
That'd be awesome. We'll Clyde do little riffs in between.
Yeah, Clyde, come on over. We'll book him. He'll play some songs that night. We'll have some pizzas. We'll have a great night.
Perfect.
Awesome.
It sounds normal.
It does sound normal.
Yeah. You have to be careful being normal now, right?
Right. So, right. So, Jim, thanks again. I appreciate it, and hopefully I'll see you soon.
Thanks so much, Johnny. I appreciate it.
All right, see ya.
Take care.